She'd been trapped in her exo-suit for years, but my touch set her free. Dr. Elena Vasquez brushed the ancient dust from her gloves as she descended into the excavation site on Kepler 442b. The abandoned research station had been buried under centuries of sediment, but her team's deep scan equipment had detected something extraordinary hidden in its depths, something that defied classification. "Another dead end, Doc?" Captain Marcus Webb called from above, his weathered face creased with skepticism. The salvage crew leader had seen enough wild goose chases to last several lifetimes, but Elena's reputation for finding the impossible kept him interested. "Not this time," Elena whispered, her headlamp illuminating a crystalline structure unlike anything in the xenoarchaeological databases. The formation pulsed with an inner light, roughly humanoid in shape, but composed of what appeared to be living crystal. "Marcus, you need to see this." The salvage captain rappelled down, his boots clanging against the metal scaffolding. "When?" His light joined Elena's. The crystal responded with a brighter pulse, as if awakening from a long slumber. Inside the translucent prison, they could make out the silhouette of a figure tall, elegant, unmistakably alien. "Well, I'll be damned," Marcus muttered. "How long do you think it's been down here?" Elena approached the crystal, her scientific curiosity overriding caution. As her fingers traced the surface, the structure hummed with energy. The radiation signature suggests at least 300 years, but the preservation is perfect. This isn't just a prison, it's a stasis chamber. The moment Elena's palm pressed flat against the crystal, everything changed. The chamber resonated with a frequency that seemed to match her heartbeat, and hairline cracks began to spread across its surface. The figure inside stirred, graceful limbs moving for the first time in centuries. "Elena, step back," Marcus shouted, but she couldn't move. The resonance had locked her in place, her neural patterns somehow interfacing with the alien technology. Memories that weren't her own flashed through her mind, vast star cities, beings of incredible beauty and power, and a terrible secret that had torn a civilization apart. The crystal shell shattered like glass, releasing a cascade of luminous particles that danced in the air before dissipating. Where the prison had stood, a figure knelt on the ancient floor, gasping for breath. She was humanoid, but clearly alien. Her skin held an opalescent quality that shifted between blue and silver, and her eyes were the color of deep space, flecked with stars. The alien woman was encased in a biomechanical suit that seemed to be part of her very flesh, pulsing with the same rhythm as her breathing. Tubes and filaments connected various parts of the suit to her body, and Elena could see that removing it would likely kill her. Who are you?" the alien whispered, her voice like wind chimes in a gentle breeze. She looked up at Elena with recognition, as if seeing an old friend after years of separation. "I'm Elena," she replied, kneeling beside the freed prisoner. "Dr. Elena Vasquez. And you?" "Zaraketh," the alien said, struggling to sit up. I was a sentinel of the Nethys, but that was so long ago." Her eyes filled with tears that sparkled like liquid diamonds. "You freed me. How?" The resonance lock was keyed to a specific neural pattern, one that should no longer exist. Marcus stepped forward, his hand resting on his sidearm. "Doc, we need to get her to the ship. If there's one thing I've learned about ancient alien tech, it's that it always comes with complications." Elena helped Zaraketh to her feet, noting how the alien's biosuit seemed to strengthen in response to her touch. "Can you walk?" "We have a medical bay on our ship." "I can try," Zaraketh replied, leaning heavily on Elena. "But you must know my imprisonment was not arbitrary. I was hidden away for discovering something my people feared, something that could change the nature of existence itself." As they made their way to the surface, Elena couldn't shake the feeling that freeing Zaraketh had set in motion events that would reshape her understanding of the universe. The resonance between them continued to pulse, a connection that transcended species and suggested possibilities both wonderful and terrifying. Aboard the salvage vessel Wanderer, Elena had converted the medical bay into a makeshift xenobiology lab. Zaraketh lay on the examination table, her biosuit systems finally stabilizing after centuries of minimal power. The alien woman's breathing had become more regular, but her memories remained fragmented. The suit isn't just life support, Elena explained to Marcus as they watched the readings. It's symbiotic. It's been keeping her alive by essentially becoming part of her circulatory and nervous systems. Raven Torres, the ship's engineer, looked up from her diagnostic equipment. The power source is incredible. It's been running on ambient quantum fluctuations for 300 years. That's technology we can't even dream of. Zaraketh's eyes fluttered open, immediately seeking Elena's face. You stayed, she whispered, a note of wonder in her voice. Of course I stayed, Elena replied, taking the alien's hand in hers. You're the archaeological discovery of the century, maybe of all time. I am more than a discovery, Zaraketh said with a sad smile. I am a refugee, the last of my kind, perhaps. Elena pulled a chair close to the table. Tell me about the Nephis. What happened to your people? Zaraketh's expression grew distant. We were explorers, scientists, artists. We discovered how to touch the quantum realm, to merge consciousness with the fundamental forces of reality. But power without wisdom leads to destruction. We went too far. Too far how? Elena asked gently. We found a way to transcend physical existence entirely, to become one with the quantum field that underlies all reality. But the process was addictive. Those who transformed lost their compassion, their connection to the material world. They became something else, something terrible. Elena felt a chill run down her spine. And you tried to stop them? I tried to warn my people. I discovered that the transformation was irreversible, that it would eventually consume our entire civilization. For this, I was branded a traitor and sealed away. Zaraketh's grip on Elena's hand tightened. But you have the resonance. You can touch our technology safely. What does that mean? Zaraketh struggled to sit up, her biosuit adjusting to support her movement. It means you may be the key to preventing what destroyed my people from happening again. But it also means you're in terrible danger. Elena helped her sit, noting how Zaraketh's skin seemed to shimmer more brightly when they touched. Danger from whom? From those who would use the quantum technology for themselves. From the few Nephis who survived by hiding in the quantum realm. And from my own people who may still live and would do anything to silence me permanently. Raven looked up from her instruments. Doc, her biosigns are spiking. Whatever you're doing, it's affecting your suit systems. Elena realized that her touch was indeed causing changes in Zaraketh's biosuit. The alien's wounds were healing faster, her strength returning. Zaraketh, what's happening to you? The resonance, Zaraketh whispered, pulling Elena closer. It's not just technological. It's biological, spiritual. You're awakening something in me that has been dormant for centuries. Their faces were inches apart now, and Elena could see the starlight in Zaraketh's eyes growing brighter. What kind of something? The ability to love, Zaraketh said simply. The quantum transformation strips away emotion, connection, the very things that make existence meaningful. But your touch, it's bringing me back to myself. Elena felt her heart racing as Zaraketh's hand cupped her cheek. The alien's skin was warm despite its otherworldly appearance, and Elena could feel a subtle vibration, like a purring cat. No, we've only just met, Zaraketh continued, but I feel as though I've been waiting centuries for you. Perhaps I have. Their lips met in a kiss that sent shockwaves through both of them. Elena felt a strange tingling sensation, as if every cell in her body was vibrating in harmony with Zaraketh's alien physiology. When they parted, both were breathing heavily. "Well," Marcus said from the doorway, "that's not something you see every day." Elena blushed, but Zaraketh simply smiled. "The resonance grows stronger. This is good. We will need every advantage we can get." "Why?" Elena asked. "Because," Zaraketh said, her expression growing serious, "I can feel them coming. Those who have been searching for me. They know I'm free, and they will stop at nothing to reclaim what they believe is theirs." The proximity alarms shrieked through the Wanderer's corridors, jolting Elena from her sleep beside Zaraketh. 3 days had passed since the aliens' awakening, and their connection had grown stronger with each passing hour. Elena had barely left the medical bay, fascinated by both the scientific implications and the growing emotional bond between them. Multiple contacts approaching, Raven announced over the comm system. Military configuration. "They're not broadcasting identification codes." Elena helped Zaraketh to her feet, noting how much stronger the alien had become. The biosuit seemed to pulse with renewed energy, and Zaraketh's movements were fluid and graceful, rather than the pained shuffle of 3 days ago. "They found us quickly," Zaraketh said, her expression grim. "Too quickly. Someone has been tracking me." Marcus burst into the medical bay, his face flushed with urgency. "We've got company. A full battle group, and they're demanding we prepare for boarding." "Elena, what the hell did you wake up down there?" Before Elena could answer, the ship's communication system crackled to life. "Wanderer, this is Admiral Blackwood of the Terran. Defense Force. You are harboring stolen xenoarchaeological materials. Prepare to be boarded immediately." "Stolen?" Elena exclaimed. "This is an independent archaeological expedition." Zaraketh placed a calming hand on Elena's shoulder. "They're not here for archaeology. They're here for me, for what I know." "And what exactly do you know?" Marcus demanded. Zara-Keth looked at each of them in turn. "I know how to transform consciousness itself, how to merge living beings with the quantum field that underlies reality. It's the ultimate weapon and the ultimate transcendence." Elena felt her blood run cold. "You're talking about the technology that destroyed your people." "Not destroyed," Zaraketh corrected. "Transformed. They still exist, but in a form that no longer recognizes morality or compassion. They've become living gods with the souls of machines." The docking clamps engaged with a metallic clang, and they could hear the hiss of the airlock cycling. Marcus drew his weapon, but Zaraketh shook her head. "Violence will not serve us now. We must be cunning." Admiral Blackwood strode into the medical bay flanked by 6 heavily armed soldiers. He was a tall man with steel-gray hair and eyes like chips of ice. Behind him walked a figure that made Elena's heart skip a beat. Dr. Jin Sato, her former research partner and the man who had betrayed her to the university board years ago. "Dr. Vasquez," Blackwood said formally, "you've made quite a discovery. One that belongs in the hands of those who can properly utilize it." "Utilize it for what?" Elena demanded. "For the protection of humanity," Blackwood replied. "The galaxy is a dangerous place, and we need every advantage we can get." Zaraketh stepped forward, her biosuit systems humming with barely contained power. "You have no idea what you're dealing with, Admiral. The quantum transformation is not a tool. It's a plague. It will consume everything you are and replace it with something that no longer cares about the protection of anything." Blackwood's eyes narrowed. "You're hardly in a position to negotiate alien. You're coming with us, along with all of your technology." "No," Elena said, stepping protectively in front of Zaraketh. "She's under my protection as the lead researcher on this expedition." Jin Sato stepped forward, his familiar face wearing an expression of false concern. Elena, be reasonable. This discovery could revolutionize human civilization. Think of the possibilities: immortality, limitless power, the ability to transcend physical limitations. The same possibilities that destroyed an entire civilization. Elena shot back. Jin, you know me. You know I wouldn't oppose something like this without good reason. I know you've always been too cautious, Jin replied, too afraid to take the risks necessary for true advancement. Zaraketh's hand found Elena's, and instantly, Elena felt a surge of shared strength and determination. He's been in contact with them, Zaraketh whispered. I can sense the quantum resonance in his neural patterns. He's already been partially transformed. Elena looked at Jin with new eyes and saw the subtle changes, the too bright intelligence in his gaze, the way he held himself with unnatural stillness. Oh, Jin, what have you done? I've evolved, Jin said simply. And soon, so will all of humanity, whether you help us or not. Blackwood signaled to his soldiers. Take them both. We'll sort this out back at the facility. But as the soldiers advanced, Zaraketh raised her hand and the biosuit erupted with energy. The lights flickered, and Elena felt a strange sensation, as if the very fabric of reality was bending around them. Run, Zaraketh whispered urgently. I can hold them, but not for long. Elena hesitated, not wanting to leave Zaraketh behind, but the alien's eyes were filled with determination. Go, find the truth about my people. Find a way to stop what's coming. With Marcus and Raven flanking her, Elena reluctantly fled toward the escape pods, her heart breaking with each step that took her further from Zaraketh. Behind them, she could hear the sound of energy weapons and Zaraketh's voice, raised in what sounded like both a battle cry and a lament. They were going to find answers, Elena vowed. And then they were going to save both Zaraketh and humanity from a fate worse than death. Elena's hands trembled as she accessed the ancient Nethes database hidden in the ruins of their homeworld. 3 weeks had passed since Zaraketh's capture, and every day Elena felt the growing urgency of their separation. The quantum resonance between them hadn't faded. If anything, it had grown stronger, allowing Elena to sense Zaraketh's pain and fear across the vast distances of space. The neural patterns are a match, she announced to Marcus and Raven, who had helped her infiltrate the quarantined Nethes system. I can access their quantum technology because I'm genetically compatible. But there's something else, something they didn't expect. What? Marcus asked, keeping watch at the entrance to the underground facility. The compatibility isn't random. It's been engineered. Someone designed my genetic line specifically to interface with Nethes technology. Elena's voice was filled with wonder and horror. I'm not just an archaeologist who stumbled onto this. I'm a key. A key that's been waiting to be used. Raven looked up from her scans. Doc, we're getting massive energy readings from the facility Blackwood took Zaraketh to. Whatever they're doing to her, it's building towards something big. Elena's connection to Zaraketh suddenly flared with pain and terror. Through their bond, she could see flashes of what her beloved was experiencing strapped to a table, surrounded by machines that were trying to force her to activate the quantum transformation process. And standing over her, no longer fully human, was Jin Sato. They're torturing her, Elena whispered, tears streaming down her face. They're trying to force her to show them how to transcend. Then we need to move fast, Marcus said grimly. What do you need from this place? Elena accessed the final files, her heart sinking as she read the truth about the Nethes civilization. They didn't just discover the quantum transformation, they were created for it. They were designed by an even older race as a way to explore transcendence safely. But the experiment failed, and now the original creators are coming back, a familiar voice said from the shadows. A figure stepped into the light tall. Elegant, Clearly Nethys, but wrong somehow. The being's eyes held the cold intelligence of the transformed, and Elena recognized the face from Zaraketh's memories. Kixnal, Elena breathed. Zaraketh thought you were dead. I was, Kixnal replied, their voice like the whisper of solar wind. But death is just another limitation to transcend. I've been waiting for the key to arrive, Elena Vasquez. Waiting for you to mature enough to use. Elena backed away, but Kixnal made no move to pursue. You're working with Blackwood. I'm using him as he thinks he's using me. Humans are crude but useful. They'll help me reclaim what was taken from me centuries ago. Kixnal's eyes fixed on Elena with predatory interest. But you, dear Elena, you're the real prize. With your genetic compatibility and Zaraketh's knowledge, I can finally complete the transformation of your species. And if I refuse? Then Zaraketh dies slowly, and I find another way. But you won't refuse, because you love her. I can sense it across the quantum field. Your bond is already partially activated. Kixnal smiled, and it was like watching a star go supernova. In fact, your connection to her is so strong that I believe you could undergo the merging process together. How romantic! Elena felt the truth of it in her bones. The resonance between her and Zaraketh had been growing stronger, and now she understood why. They were becoming quantum entangled, their consciousness beginning to merge across space and time. What do you want? Elena asked. Come with me willingly. Help me activate the quantum transformation in both of you. Become the bridge between our species that you are designed to be. Kixnal extended a hand that sparkled with energy. Or watch everything you love burn. Elena looked at Marcus and Raven, seeing the trust and fear in their eyes. Then she felt Zaraketh's pain spike again through their bond, and her decision was made. I'll come, she said, but I want to see Zaraketh first. I want to know she's alive. Of course, Kixnal purred. After all, you'll need her cooperation for the merging to work properly. The quantum field responds to love and connection. It's the one thing my people never understood. Transcendence without love is just sophisticated death. As Elena followed Kixnal toward the waiting ship, she prayed that Zaraketh would understand what she was planning. The merging process was dangerous, potentially fatal, but it was also the only way to save both their species from the fate that had befallen the Nethys. She was going to risk everything on love, because in a universe of infinite possibilities, love was the only force that could transform without destroying. And if they were going to transcend, they would do it together, as themselves or not at all. The quantum laboratory hummed with barely contained energy as Elena rushed to Zaraketh's side. Her beloved lay strapped to a crystalline table, her biosuit flickering with unstable power patterns. Tubes and wires connected her to machines that Elena didn't recognize, but their purpose was clear. They were trying to force Zaraketh to demonstrate the quantum transformation. Elena, Zaraketh whispered, her eyes lighting up with joy and relief. You came. Of course I came, Elena said, her hands working quickly to free Zaraketh from the restraints. I'm never leaving you again. How touching, Admiral Blackwood said from the observation deck above. Dr. Sato, are we ready to begin? Jin Sato, now clearly more machine than man, nodded with mechanical precision. The neural interface is prepared. We can begin the forced transformation at any time. Kixnal materialized beside Elena, their quantum-enhanced form shifting in and out of visible reality. But forced transformation lacks elegance. Watch and learn, Admiral, as I show you the true power of willing transcendence. Elena helped Zaraketh to her feet, feeling the alien's strength return as their connection reestablished itself. Can you do it? Elena asked quietly. Can you merge our consciousness safely? I don't know, Zaraketh admitted. It's never been attempted across species. But our bond has been growing stronger. We're already partially merged. If we can complete the process willingly, with love as our guide instead of ambition, then we might transcend without losing ourselves, Elena finished. But even if we fail, we'll fail together. Zaraketh smiled, and Elena saw tears glistening in her star-flecked eyes. I love you, Elena Vasquez. Across species, across time, across the quantum field itself. I love you too, Elena replied, and meant it with every fiber of her being. They joined hands, and immediately the laboratory filled with harmonic vibrations. Elena felt her consciousness expanding, touching the edges of Zaraketh's mind. She saw the aliens' memories, the beauty of the Nethes civilization, the horror of watching it transform into something cold and alien, the loneliness of centuries in crystal prison. Zaraketh, in turn, experienced Elena's memories, her childhood, fascination with the stars, her dedication to understanding the universe, her longing for connection that had never been fulfilled until now. Stop them! Blackwood shouted, but his soldiers found their weapons powerless against the expanding energy field. KIX now watched with growing alarm as the merging process continued. This is wrong, they hissed. Transcendence requires the abandonment of individual identity. You cannot maintain your humanity and achieve quantum consciousness. Watch us, Elena said, her voice harmonizing with Zaraketh's as their minds drew closer together. The merging accelerated, and Elena felt herself becoming something new, not human, not Nethes, but something that incorporated the best of both. She could perceive the quantum field that underlay reality, see the connections between all living things, but she also retained her compassion, her love, her essential humanity. Impossible, Jin Sato said, his transformed mind struggling to comprehend what it was witnessing. The quantum field should strip away emotional attachments. Only if you let it, Elena Zara said, their voices now perfectly synchronized. Love isn't a weakness to be discarded. It's the strongest force in the universe. It's what gives meaning to existence. KIX now lunged forward, their quantum-enhanced form blazing with malevolent energy. I will not let you pervert the transformation. Transcendence is about power, not sentiment. But Elena Zara was ready. Their merged consciousness reached out through the quantum field, touching the part of Kix now that remembered love, that remembered Zaraketh as a friend and companion. For a moment, the transformed Nethes wavered, their eyes showing a flicker of their former self. Kix now, Elena Zara said gently. Remember who you were. Remember what you loved. I remember, Kixnell whispered, their form beginning to stabilize. I remember the songs we used to sing, the dreams we shared. But it's too late. I've gone too far. It's never too late, Elena Zara replied. Love endures across all transformations. Let us help you remember. The laboratory filled with light as Elena Zara's consciousness expanded to encompass Kixnell, Jin Sato, and even Admiral Blackwood. But instead of forced transformation, they offered healing the chance to remember love, compassion, and connection. One by one, the transformed beings began to change back, their quantum consciousness integrating with rather than replacing their emotional selves. The process was painful, requiring them to confront the emptiness they had chosen, but Elena Zara guided them through it with infinite patience. What are you doing? Blackwood demanded, his voice losing its mechanical edge. Saving you, Elena Zara replied, saving all of us. The quantum transformation doesn't have to be destructive. It can be healing, unifying, transcendent in the truest sense. As the light faded, Elena and Zaraketh found themselves still merged, but also still individual to consciousness, sharing one quantum field, able to separate or unite as they chose. Around them, the others were changed but not destroyed, their humanity or Nethes nature intact but enhanced. Is it over? Marcus asked, having somehow made it past the security barriers. No, Elena said, her voice her own again, but still harmonized. With Zaraketh's, it's just beginning. We found a way to transcend without losing ourselves, to become more than we were while remaining who we are. Zaraketh smiled, her hand finding Elena's. The universe is vast and full of wonders. Shall we explore it together? Together, Elena agreed, and felt the quantum field pulse with approval. As they walked toward the future, hands joined, consciousness merged, they carried with them the knowledge that love was indeed the strongest force in the universe, strong enough to transform reality itself without destroying what made existence worth living. Behind them, the laboratory stood empty, except for the gentle hum of quantum energy, harmonizing like a love song across the stars.